All right, this part, the axle, we're gonna primarily make using a revolve. So we did a little bit with revolves when I was showing you a way to do the headlights on the front or the taillights on the back, but we're gonna actually make a part where truly the best way to do it is a revolve. Now I want you to look at this axle. I will tell you that you could do this part with extrusions. It's possible, but I want you to know how to do a revolve, a good revolve. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is, I kind of had this general rule that we're trying to like pick the starting plane that we draw on so that each piece is sort of in its natural position already. But for the axle, I mean, I don't know. Well, I'm going to draw on the right plane. Okay. I'm going to draw on the right plane. So click sketch, choose the right plane. We're drawing on the right plane. We're good? Yeah. Okay. So you need to appreciate what I'm going to do here. Just watch. All I want you to do is just watch. Don't do this, just watch. I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay? Like that. Okay? And this is what I want to show you how that turns into a revolve part. When I revolve this, what shape will I get?
A circle.
No. No? I mean, I don't know what you're thinking. Maybe you mean to be more precise with your language, but it won't just be a circle.
Cylinder.
It will be a cylindrical ring, right?
Oh.
Yeah? Yeah? So watch. Just watch. You don't need to do this. Just watch. So this rectangle gets revolved around this line and it makes a ring. We see that? Yeah?
Yeah.
I think showing you this helps you visualize what it is exactly we're trying to accomplish here. So now let's actually do this. The very first thing that we need to do is we need to draw a vertical line on the origin. So go from the origin straight up. Who cares about the height? Irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Okay, we can dimension it later. But this is, we're going to use this as sort of our starting point. When we revolve, we got to revolve around an axis, and that's going to be the axis we're going to use. We're good? Yeah. Okay. Now, one thing that we need to do is we need to think about if we were to take this axle and like cut it in half, what would we see? So we're going to start with this little lip. If you look at it, it's like a lip that kind of sticks out, that's almost touching the wood. Okay? We're going to start with that. Now, there's two different ways you can do this. You can use rectangles or you can use lines. I'm going to do it both ways for starters. Okay? I'm going to do it both ways. But I'm going to start with the line tool. Okay? So I would go out horizontally. Notice the horizontal constraint. Up vertically. Notice the vertical constraint. And then in a little bit. Again, notice the horizontal constraint. I'm going to hit escape there. Just going to draw that. So what have I drawn? I have drawn that lip. Make sense? Yes, say yeah? Maybe, possibly? You're going to need your calipers. Let's get some dimensions in there before we get too far in on this. I think in one of this class, we're using millimeters, right? Millimeters?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get the outer diameter of that lip part. And it's like 10 something. It's like 10 something. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to go with 10. So the outer diameter is 10. Oh, wait a minute though. Is that thing that I got to mention the diameter? What is that? It would be the radius. So I'd have to do 10 divided by 2, wouldn't I? Okay, now you can do that. And I showed you how to do this very simply. You can just do 10/2 and it'll do the math for you. Yes, say yeah? This is 100% valid. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing this. However, I'm going to show you a better way. Are you ready for this? I'm going to show you a better way. Okay? And I really want you to just look up here and pay attention to what I'm doing. What was the first thing that I drew?
The line.
The vertical line, right? Okay. going to delete that dimension for a moment. I'm going to select this line. So I had that line selected. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over this button that makes it a construction line. We did this with the star. Do you remember that? Yep. We did that with the star. So I'm going to click on this, and now notice that it's dashed. We see that? Now I'm going to do the dimension again. Watch very carefully what I dimension to. I'm going to click on that line that I just made dashed. And then I'm going to click on this far line over here. Now you might think, well, that's the same dimension. It's still 5. But watch my cursor. I move my cursor over here, and now suddenly it's got the circumference diameter symbol in front of it. It says 10 because it is recognizing that this is the center line for a circle. Now, I haven't drawn a circle, but if I were to look down, this is going to make a circle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the center line for a circle. And the diameter of that circle is 10. This line right here is 5, but the diameter for the circle is 10. And it's much easier to directly measure diameters than it is radii. Yeah? So, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do all of that again. The first thing you're going to do is draw your center line. A straight vertical line starting at the origin. Length of it is irrelevant. And then you're going to click on it, and you're going to make it a construction line. Sound good? Yes, say yeah. And then what you're going to do when you dimension anything else, watch how I dimension this. So I'm going to draw this bottom lip, right? I'm making sure I have the snap to vertical and horizontal constraints. When you dimension it, you are going to dimension from this center line to a point of interest. And when you click the place to dimension, move your cursor to the other side before you click. And then you type in the diameter, and it really does work out. You can then move this dimension to be back over here if you want over here. But when you do the initial click, you got to have your cursor over here. Do we have any questions on this? I think that this will make it much easier to apply those diameters. Using the part that sticks out the bottom, I can get the height of that lip. It's going to be obviously very small. 1.8. Yeah, we'll make that 2. So the height of this is 2. And then I'm going to go up again. And now I can measure the diameter for the rest of the axle. And that's about 7.5. So that's probably, that would round up to 8. It's either 7 or 8. And it seems to be closer to 7. So I'm going to make that 7. Again, watch how I dimension this. I click here on the center line first. Then I click on the thing I want to dimension to. Before I click the place of my dimension, I move my cursor over. And now it's a diameter. 7. And I can then move that number back over here. Sound good? Yes, say yeah? Mm-hmm. Now there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little lip up top. Tiny, tiny little lip. Tiny little lip. So I'm going to do some more lines. So I'm going to give this a diameter of 8. And I'm going to give this a height of 2 again. It's just a little lip. And then I got to do an overall height. Again, about 13. So that's like the overall height. So I have an overall height of 13. Each of these lips, I gave a height of 2. This lip down here is wider, diameter of 10. This lip here is not as wide, diameter of 8. And the middle part, diameter of 7. Questions before I keep going? I'm not done, obviously. Okay, you'll notice if you look inside that it's kind of hollow. You guys see that? Yeah? So, it seems like as I'm closer to the top, this isn't very thick, but then it goes down only a little bit before it cuts in some more. And then there's like another hole, and then it cuts in some more. And then notice I'm drawing a solid line here. So let me zoom in a little bit. So this here, you can see is like a little thin wall at the very, very top. You can get calipers. You can measure how thick that wall is. Okay, I'm getting about 1.5. So I'm going to do 1.5 there. With finer things like this, I don't really like going to the nearest millimeter. I'm willing to go to nearest half millimeter. How far does that go down? Not super far. Maybe 6 millimeters. And then it's kind of tough to see how wide that is. But I'm going to make an educated guess that it's a similar dimension to this. So I'm going to go 1.5 again. And I'm going to stick this thing all the way down in there. 12, okay. Let me review a few things here. Okay? I have drawn, this is a solid line segment from this point to this point. Do we see that? That is not this dashed center line. From this point here to this point, I did draw a solid line. If I don't, it won't be considered an enclosed shape. But that was drawn on top of my center line. We're good? Yeah. I have not dimensioned the height of the center line, but I would point out that it's not blue. Do you know why that is the case? There's no warning here. For example, saying it's not fully constrained, even though I've never dimensioned the height of that line. This is a construction line, and the computer realizes that you don't need a dimension. It's not relevant. It is not actually part of your object. Now, I could make, using constraints, I'll use a horizontal constraint. I can line this up to be the same height as that, but it's not necessary. I'm going to try and clean up my dimensions a little bit, just so that it's a little bit easier to see what's going on here. Remember, you could go view my stuff, by the way. Right? It's in the folder, Mr. Bigelow's folder. You can just go view my stuff. Do we have questions? We need help. It's my chance to watch a quick cat video on the other screen. I'm gonna give you a moment to finish this up. To be honest, that's the hard part, right there. Alrighty, boys. Ian, Kane, we good? Mason, Blake, we're good.
Me and Marshall, Sean.
Awesome. Jordan, you good, brother? Okay. So now that you're done with this, you just click on Revolve. And then it's very simple. Okay? The first thing you do is select what you want to revolve. Well, that will be this. And then it says Revolve Axis. So you got to click on the red rectangle Revolve Axis. It's red because you can't complete this feature without that being addressed. Once something's blue, that means whatever you click on is adding it to that selection. So anything I click on at this point is going to be add to Revolve Axis. And I can just select that construction line that I drew. And there it is. There's my axle. Easy. Revolve, super easy to use. The sketches, if you have a hard time visualizing stuff, you might struggle to make the profile sketch that you need for the Revolve. But the actual feature part of the Revolve is pretty trivial. The sketches can be lots of complicated stuff, though. Okay, I will kind of warn you on that. Questions? Okay. Well then, what I'd like for you to do is continue following along because we're not done. We still have to make, if you look, there's like these slits. You see those slits? Yeah? You see those slits? We still got to do those. The easiest way to do those is to draw a rectangle on either the front or the right plane. And it doesn't really matter which one you do. Okay, it doesn't really matter which one you do, but you got to do it on one of them. So you're just going to draw a rectangle, okay? You got to have your thing revolve, though. I don't know if people do. Auto, do you have your thing revolve? Mansfield GeoGuessr, Street Gamer, I respect that. How many times has it been turkey?
We haven't got
Dude, why is it always turkey, man?
We haven't got turkey once.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we played like all class at one time, and we got turkey like, what, 4 times?
More.
And then some people were playing it the next day, and they got turkey multiple times.
This might be turkey.
Like
Just Finland, yeah.
This might be turkey.
I saw a car. It said Posty F5. I was like,
Yeah, I saw a Posty car too, but I don't know if it would.
Okay. We ready, fam? We ready, fam? We ready? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to make a sketch, and it doesn't actually matter what plane you do. You can do right or front. Hey, what's up, man? If you want to just sit on that table right there, man, I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you, thank you. Look at that juicy stuff, boys. See, that's why we got to get this cabinet. Austin, you're supposed to be making this cabinet for me, bro. You're saying you're supposed to be like, I gotta put this somewhere. Bro, I don't want to hear your excuses.
Jaden's on the
It's the
job.
first turn.
Bro, Jaden, dude, he's getting ready to prep for the NFL. He's going places. He ain't got time to build me cabinets. He's studying videos and stuff. What are you doing?
Tad, I think.
You know what? This is CAD. That's, I don't know what that is. That's lines and shapes and numbers.
Actually.
Man's behind. I'm gonna draw on the front plane just to be different. Doesn't really matter though.
It was grease.
That's a joke, right?
So I'm drawing the front plane. Yes, yeah, we're good. Yeah. Now you don't have to do it this way, but remember, you can always right-click on a plane. Remember that? Yeah. You can always right-click on a plane. I'm gonna right-click on front and choose. Wait a minute here.
This is Moscow. No shot.
Section view. It's not orange. I don't know why it's not turning orange. If you just right click on the front though, and you will get a section view option. I don't know why it doesn't turn orange until you've already selected it, but section view. We see, yes, yeah. So you just right click on the plane you just sketch and choose section view. Yes, we're good? Yeah. And that just makes it easy to draw your stuffs. What I would do is I would do a center point rectangle, tap, don't click on, just tap the origin, then you go straight up, and you just draw a rectangle like that. Yeah, we're good? Yes. Yeah. The center of this rectangle is lined up with the origin. We're good. I'm going to do that one more time. Tap the origin, don't click on it, just tap it, go up. Plop your center there, and just draw a rectangle. That way the rectangle is easily centered. We're good? Yeah? Yeah. Questions? Okay. Now I got to get the height.
All right.
Looks like it's about 6, a little less, that's fine, 6 is fine. I'm going to use the horizontal constraint, and I'm going to line up this top edge with something up here. It probably won't let you click on this stuff once you have like the constraint selected. So you might have to click on, here's the project button, right? We've used this before. You might have to project the top of the shape. So I clicked on this and I projected it. So now that it just puts this black line, it's actually in my sketch that I can utilize. So you can line up those. And I said that it's a little less than 6. I'm just going to go with 6 tall. I got to get a width now. Looks like it's about 1. Somewhere around there. Somewhere around 1. So it's 6 tall, 1 wide. I did center rectangle so I can line the center up with the origin. And then I projected, I used this project button. I projected that back edge right there so that I could actually use a constraint to line the top of my rectangle over this stuff. Questions before we move on? Okay. Well, I have my sketch, and I want to extrude. I want to cut through stuff. Yes, yeah? Yeah. Now, there's more than one way you could do this, but I'm going to tell you 2 different ways. You can click on extrude. Okay? And I want to do remove. Yes, yeah? And I'm going to click on this. But what would my ending conditions be? Well, I got some options. Blind would be the worst option, although you could do it. That'd be the worst option. Because you type in a number, and what's the number to a curve, right? It's curved. It's not going to be the same. I could go over, but that's kind of not very clean. So you got two options I think are good. The first is through all. That just cuts through everything that exists at that point. I think through all is perfectly fine. You just want to go through all of it, right? Yeah? And then you could also do up to face. And then you could go click on this face. Yeah? There's also that option. Yeah? Yeah, we're good. Last little tip and trick. Where is oh, there is no symmetric. Oh, well. Okay. Okay. I guess I could click on the other face. I'm not going to do that. So I'm actually just going to do through all. Because then I can click on symmetric. And then I'll make it cut both directions. We want to go both ways. Yes, yeah? I could have probably, I could undo my section view and click on another surface. And that would work. But I'm just going to do through all. It's easier.
Oh.
And symmetric makes it go both ways. We're good? Yeah? Yeah? And then I'm done. I'm done. I'm actually done making this part. Now, if I want to bring the other half back, if you remember what plane you made the section view on, you can right-click on it, and then you can choose to turn off the section view. If you forgot what section view, where you assigned it to or whatever, you can always go to the camera and render options, and you can always edit the section view or turn off the section view right here. Yes, yeah? Which I think is really valuable. And that's it. We're done. Now, if you want to add more to the bottom, you could draw a sketch and you could draw a circle and you could extrude it down a certain size. Yes, yeah? Yeah, you could do that. You don't really know what the inside looks like. You're welcome to make it whatever you want. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. I am going to just draw a circle. And I'm going to just make it the same size as the one up here. So I believe it's 7. And I'm just going to extrude it. Let's go with, I don't know, 10?
What? Who's V, bro? Who is a V, Jackson?
I don't necessarily know if that's right. Don't know, don't care. Good enough. So you can make that bottom as fancy or not as fancy as you want. Questions on the axle?
Fine.
Questions on that? Okay, I told you that you could do this a couple different ways. I use the line tool. I could have done this with rectangles. Corner rectangles.
Still could be Brazil, bro. You never know.
I do know it's not though.
So I just did have rectangles, right? Yes, yeah. Is it a little bit faster and easier? Maybe. But then you have to select all those regions if you do decide to go the rectangle route. I don't know if this is necessarily better. It can be done, though. It can be done.
Can I go bathroom?
All right. I've shown you all I need to show you for the axle.
What is it? Oh,